This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
And last but not least, we have a spy and political conspiracy themed movie trilogy for Spielberg. We got Munich, then we have Bridge of Spies, and then we finish it off with The Post. So please enjoy these mini retrospects for the beloved Spielberg all this month.
We mixed, we loaded, we edited.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
Not only is Munich a gripping and tremendously exciting thriller, but it has also been nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. 2 thumbs way up for Munich. Rated R. Now playing.
So, last but not least, my closing thoughts on Munich has got to be that it's just a one-of-a-kind, it's got adventure, but it's also got just all the different elements on how Spielberg was emotionally reacting to the war on 9/11 and then equating it to the Israeli retaliation squad, and just that line, "Don't fuck with the Jews." And it's such an emotional movie, and near the end, like, every grown man wants to cry, but even actors who are known for James Bond movies are in this film. There's some rare nudity in this film. There's some dark elements that Spielberg just touches in this film that goes underlooked. I mean, you have that final closing shot of the World Trade Center. This, like, man, talk about in the moment kind of moment where Spielberg was just wanted a retaliation kind of movie. It's just a very, very personal movie that doesn't get talked about enough. And it's not about the shocking content. It's not about the grit. It's literally about spies almost losing their humanity just for taking on this personal mission. There's so many people who are like, I'm out, I'm going to die, I'm going to risk my family getting killed by doing these tactics. And the ones who stay the course get the win, and even then it still destroys them personally at a cost. So it's really can't be understated anymore that Munich is a one-of-a-kind movie that just when anyone says Spielberg doesn't have any guts, oh yes he does. Yes he does. Please check that movie out.
We are engaged in a war. This war involves information.
The Soviets got our spy pilot. We got their spy. We want you to negotiate the swap.
I'm an insurance lawyer.
You work for the CIA now.
There's a cost to these things.
You doing this for us?
We're in a battle for civilization.
Nobody is safe. The next mistake our country's made could be the last one.
Bridge of Spies. Rated PG-13. October 16th.
When I saw Bridge of Spies in the theater, we were just so wowed. It's like we were okay with some of the historical, summaries, blending characters, multiple characters into one entity. It's like just how that movie opens up with all that kind of voyeuristic shot is like you feel like you're being spied on, the viewer, and then you're looking at stuff that you shouldn't be watching. And just all those other lesser known actors who were phenomenal is like, and now they're bigger names and everyone goes, oh yeah, he's in the guy from Bridge of Spies.
Do you have the papers?
The White House has been lying about the Vietnam War for 30 years.
What's next?
You're talking about exposing government secrets.
Is that legal?
What is it you think we do here for a living, kid? If we publish this, we could all go to prison.
If there's a way to destroy you, Nixon will find it.
I'm asking your advice, not your permission.
What are you going to do?
The Post.
What are you so happy about?
I always wanted to be part of a small rebellion.
Rated PG-13.
Munich, though, like when that came out, like we were still suffering from post 9/11, and that definitely was his most personal movie in a while. Is like, okay, now he's once again going back to the Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan.
But War of the Worlds was really dark as well in the same year. Do you know what I mean? That wasn't like what kind of sci-fi, like kind of Independence Day or whatever, with the sort of happy ending. And War of the Worlds was like a really dark film, and like you say,
War of the Worlds
Munich
was the
as well.
same year as Munich, and when he did Munich and then went on to Bridge of Spies and The Post, I'm like, okay, he really is just very cued in. But I didn't realize it actually technically started with Minority Report. He enlisted a Homeland Security guy on and said, let's just talk about how, again, we can't police ourselves. We do so much fear mongering. And Munich is like, yeah, that was a tragic event. It's my excuse to make a gritty spy movie, as well as just it's kind of a revenge movie. It's also a political, social aware movie.
He's never had a bad cast either, because like even like Munich, like Eric Bana's he's any Australian knows Eric Bana as a stand-up comedian. They know him from all his comedy stuff, and I can't think of a single thing where you think, oh, that casting's slightly off, or I might have had so and so.
Even if you're a bad actor, if you appear in a Spielberg movie, you're gonna give a good performance. But it is so funny too when you see some of these B-listers who worked with them. They didn't have much success afterwards, but they could always say, "Hey, I worked with one of the greats, so I had a moment in the sun." I just didn't get my act together underneath all the sex and drugs, and I didn't have a good agent. I gotta say, The Post, I saw people saying this was so overrated. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to disagree. This is Spielberg doing his All the President's Men.
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
this is him doing a Spotlight type thing. It's underrated even more because day in and out, without fail, I will see someone arguing, saying, "Oh, I only like news that's caters to my opinion." I'm like, then it's not news. It has to fall within the guidelines.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And it's kind of
it's a sleeper.
With what's going on today too,
I mean, you got people who are invested in this. You got Bob Odenkirk in a key role. You got Bradley Whitford. He's no stranger to this, having done Aaron Sorkin's Studio 60 and West Wing. So it's like, yeah. And Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks, actually, I think they do a good job of playing against type. Like Tom Hanks is hesitant and Meryl's very reserved instead of I'm Meryl Streep kind of thing. It's like, whoa, okay, hey, they're leaning
like Zodiac in a way.
I would say so.
From that,
well, I would say
newsroom wise, it's like Zodiac.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I would say yes, because especially like Spotlight, where you have all the investigators and you see them taking a moment of silence instead of being fancy guys who have all the answers. They're like, so how do we form all these victims' testimonies, together for the prosecution, and for reporting the story, and
the hell was the other one I watched? Oh, Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Nightcrawler is actually, so there you go. There is a lot of crossover with Dan Gilroy in a way. Yeah. Just, even though Nightcrawler owes a lot to Taxi Driver.
News watch.
Yeah. A similar thing in how definitely underrated. It's wild how that one had to take a thriller approach just to get people to pay attention. And meanwhile, this is a thriller, but a light one. In fact, one movie that I think is a good contrast, I don't know if you guys have seen this one, is Paul Newman, Sally Field, and it's called
Lions for Lambs?
No, but I like that one. I like that one, but
I haven't watched that in a long time.
Absence of Malice. You ever see that?
I've heard of that and never watched it.
You ever see that, Mike?
Boy, I think I did
Bob
see
Balaban.
that.
It seems like every time there's a big journalistic movie that comes out, it's just often ignored. And yet I felt like, kind of like the other arguments we're talking about, some of these other movies is like saying you might not have been otherwise interested had Steven not done it. So
yeah,
it's kind of funny how this is where I would say use that counter argument.
as my argument. I'm like, I want to see him do something different instead of just a goody goody two shoes fairy tale. So I gotta say, like, it's slow moving, but it's really earned. Like it's a slow burn. It's but it's the engaging time. Sorry, go ahead.
I learned to appreciate how I knew the story on papers and everything, but what a big risk that was for the paper.
Yeah,
at the time, and also that the Supreme Court could have sent him to prison. But how the power of the press came through, and I just hope we get back to that.
Oh, exactly. But Pentagon Papers is a good story in its own right. They even made that into a award-winning TV movie with James Spader for FX. But so now we're past analyst Daniel Ellsberg's story, in 71, and here we are, with Graham, Streep's character is the first female publisher. She's at the Washington Post, and editor Ben Bradley is helping with the New York Times. And it's like, see, this is probably the only few times you would have two of the biggest papers get on the same page with each other. Now it would be so much antagonizing. It's a big, rich cast. It's a big early performance by Carrie Coon and other people who you've seen in a bunch of HBO, Showtime shows. It's like, but yeah, it's just the very nature of freedom versus truth versus what the government wants you to say. And it's like,
what year did that come out?
2017 in the fall.
Oh, wow. I know why that didn't work.
That's just
Infinity War was out.
Well, not just that. It wasn't just that Marvel's kicking ass, but like they did a movie on Mark Felt that same year. And 2 years later, they do one on Official Secrets, was another real life tabloid story. They do The Report, that's about senators bringing to life the CIA's controversial interrogation program. It's like at that point, without having to necessarily even say his name, but I'll say it anyway, like we're already suffering with Trump and realizing all the radical viewpoints. So I think that's just it. Like people do want to cling on to stuff, but it's pretty much, they can only do like 20 minutes at a time. Like I know I went crazy during that time saying, I guess I'm going to tune into the Daily Show more often and just get some humor, but it's like with some facts. So it's just like, it's just like all the war movies and political dramas just don't do too well during that time, just because everyone's like, I see it every day. I don't want to see it anymore. And it's like, well, what do you do? What?
It's hard to make everybody happy because like the zeitgeist of film has changed. That whole landscape has changed a lot. Last decade was all comic book films. Right. And they dominated like a motherfucker. But going back to last decade, there are a lot of gems during that time frame.
I agree.
There's so many gems.
Anyone who says I've seen all the best stuff for the year, no, you haven't. There's plenty of stuff in other countries that's going to come here a year later that was out last year. So
that's right.
Yeah, this one I saw on HBO and I watched it while I was at work, and I was just like, see, I'm going to have to disagree with anyone saying this is one of his disappointing films. I'm like, this is his attempt at doing a Norman Jewison kind of dramatic thriller. This is his attempt at just doing a journalism versus integrity character study. And Tom Hanks isn't playing Tom Hanks. You can say what you want. I used to have a professor who I respected otherwise who was like, oh, Tom Hanks, I can't see anyone else in the roles he does. And at the same time, I can't see anyone other than Tom Hanks. I'm like, I think people like to get too comfortable with performers.
Yeah, definitely.
And I like to give them credit when they actually stretch themselves. So much like how he does the Mr. Rogers movie.
That was good.
I agree.
I liked him in what was the one? The neighbor that was trying to kill himself and couldn't do it.
I know. I shelved the book at work all the time too.
A Man Called Otto.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the one with he's got the cute cat. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie. It was so sad, but it was so good. Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, Bella, put me onto that. She's like, you would like it. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. Bawled in the theater. So good. So good.
I want to see the original Swedish.
I gotta see it. I haven't seen it yet. But
I want to see the Swedish film it's based on as well. It's kind of...
Yeah, the book has a slightly different title. It's a different name, I think.
Different name. All right.
Yeah.
Well, he's always challenging himself, and yet, without fail, I will see some people sometimes on rare occasions say, I don't really care for him. I'm like, seriously? Is it because you don't like Forrest Gump? Don't lay Tom Hanks
And to think John Goodman was going to play Forrest Gump.
Oh, God. Be a whole different movie.
I know, right? Like, really? Like,
yeah. there's some peer of mine who does some local open mic nights, and he has his share of hot takes where he will talk trash just about every A-lister, including Denzel Washington, and I'm just always shaking my head. I'm like, dude, you can only hate so many actors. What the hell is going on here right now? And I feel like a lot of people like to just unleash their hot takes, but I can't respect them because they are so oblivious to what a hot take that is. They're like, whoa, I'm just freedom of speech. I'm like, I get
That's
that
the worst argument ever.
I get that it's your freedom. That's not the point. It's that you're so
Stupid.
wrong. Oh my god.
I mean, you can have your wrong opinion.
Yeah. So
you can.
that's where you then restate it as you're not wrong. You're just inaccurate. It's just like if you're going to tell me someone who's the whole point of an actor, it can't just. If you're going to tell me they suck, they better have just like failed to resonate as a leading person. Don't have
Some
much
people
depth.
just don't click with certain people, and I get that. I understand that.
I can understand it to a point. Like, don't get me wrong. There's people who, as long as they keep challenging themselves, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's like, you're just in a bad movie, or you just got typecast as the rapist or idiot boyfriend in a movie. I'm not going to attack you necessarily. I mean, the Hand That Rocks the Cradle remake, that was terrible. I don't blame the first-time director. I don't blame the actors who had to eat. I blame the studio who thought, hey, yeah, sure, let's take a movie, not even have anything to do with the concept except in name, and then just fuck around and find out. I'm like, yeah, no, it's a terrible idea.
That sucks because the original is so good. I love Rebecca as a mom.
I agree. So I think it's only a matter of time before they remake Back to the Future or Die Hard, when they could have just ripped it off for the billionth time instead. It's like, if you rip it off, at least I know you're doing a different part of the coin, the flip side of the coin, instead of just, now I'm going to just take this shit all over it. And
it's hard to do any kind of remakes with half these films because they don't come out the right way.
I can understand if it's another take on a pre-existing property. There's always going to be another Robin Hood or another Superman. I get that.
An alternate script idea works, like Alien 3, because I read the unproduced screenplay comic recently. It's interesting. It's an interesting story.
I like the uncut version even. But there's a good movie in there. It's just everyone likes to do the whole
this?
React to what you are feeling, not what others are feeling. And the post is interesting how, like you guys said, it kind of came and went. I even brought it up one time, knowing fully well my mother and sister had seen it in theaters. I just had to remind them, the real life New York Times, Washington Post story. Oh, yeah, with Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks. So I think that's just it. Like, if the only thing I'm going to say is the title's not very notable.
Yeah.
But just like Mike was saying, I have seen it. I just had to remind myself I had seen it. So I think that's just it. I think it kind of just hit all the marks. It did it too good. I think it came out in the wrong era. We've seen so much stuff. We see so much each year. It's hard to keep them all aligned. There's sometimes I do that with documentaries. I'm like, oh, I did see that music documentary, but I got it mixed up with the other making a music documentary about the same subject or group. Kudos to Spielberg for wanting to even make that, back to back. See, what else did he do in 2017? He had the documentary about himself, and then what else did
you are right about Wrong Decade. You are right about that because we talked about that and other stuff.
So as a whole, again, I hope you guys enjoyed Spielberg's political and spy film endeavors. It's just not enough can be said. Like, they are really one of a kind, and the post, we kind of joked, came out at just the wrong time. It's like, I don't know why though. Why did it come out at the wrong time? Just looking at our answers to questions we had formed, I think it's just people are just getting so distracted by the annoying politics of real life that it just didn't have a chance. But The Post is definitely another personal film by Spielberg, and Bridge of Spies can't say enough nice things about. I mean, it did what every good movie does, just combine everything. And when you follow from Munich, it's like, it just showed I can do spy movies of every kind. It doesn't have to be just Munich where it's gritty, or like my Indiana Jones films, which are his more, his nod to James Bond. It's like, Bridge of Spies is like, I'm just showing how the Red Scare was still in effect, and how, Russia and America are still at odds with each other and have to have some kind of level of trust after much discipline and grave disagreements, it's like eventually you come to some resolution. It's not always pretty, but there's some optimism ultimately in view. And it's interesting too how people keep saying he has happy endings. He has some happy endings. There's plenty of endings where he just wants to give you some food for thought. But alas, we're here to defend Spielberg, and we'll do so all day. Thanks for listening, gang.
We'll return after these messages.
Howdy folks, Howtech here. We got a 90-minute weekly Shack Stop. It's growing all over the world. Find it at 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays, then 3 p.m. on Wednesdays, then 7 p.m. on Thursdays. You can catch it on many more radio stations, 99.9 KERB, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. Then catch the encore on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Then catch it Wednesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central on 107.7 K-Twins. Then hang out with us Wednesday afternoons on MXTR and House Shack Radio, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Then Thursday, get up bright and early with us on 95.7 Web Radio at 6 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Of course, we've got your Friday covered as well. 12 p.m. Eastern Time on MXTR FM and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central, 107.7 K-Twins. Find everything on HowShack.com. HowShack.
Welcome to the Better Call Daddy Show, the #1 podcast where we admit, no matter what happens, Daddy has the advice we need to fix our problems.
Introducing my dad, Mr. Wayne Friedman.
That was good. It would be nice if you could also sing a song.
What would the song be?
You love Paris in the springtime. I just made up some words to it.
I love Rena in the springtime. I love Rena in the fall.
That's right. That's good enough.
What I do is interview people of interest, share it with my dad, and get my dad's advice. My dad is my hero. Nobody's got my daddy.
Oh boy, let's go to Grandpa.
You like to be a little rebel. I tried to rein you in. I have a daughter named Rena that acts just like I did. She's got a son that is not only just like me, but it's just like her.
I'm your host, Rena Friedman Watts.
Invite your friends, subscribe, and I'm excited to take this journey with you.
Let's dive in.
She was teasing this guy with this sword, and she accidentally cut his dick.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
And then he started to enjoy it.
I started going down the phone sex rabbit hole. You've got the wankers, and they jerk off in 5 seconds, and then they're done because A, they don't want to spend money, and B, they're quick.
My stepfather had mania. If I'm yelling at one of my kids, that fear, that rigid fear.
Mom even said to me, I hope you have a kid just like you.
There are lots of people that are being bought and sold right now for profit.
If you think you're going to kill yourself, shut up and kill yourself. If you're not going to kill yourself, then shut up, smarten up, and it's all on you. The bullshit has to end.
Wow.
When I was 11 years old, I was raped and molested over the course of a year.
What Jeffrey Epstein had was a sickness inside of him.
I am Evan Castrilli Carmichael. I could do anything that I believe that I can.
I'm so excited too. Let's go.
Next on Better Call Daddy with my mom and my grandpa.
Stay tuned.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening. It's a jacked up